good evening. It's Sunday, March 31st. Tomorrow's April 1st. I did pay rent, but I need to be skeptical of anything and everything I read on the internet. So that's fun. I'm a little out of it, but I've actually been productive today, which is great. I'm going to be picking up Mass Effect again where we left off, which was we just made an impressive speech after being given the use of the Normandy SR1, and we're immediately going back onto the Citadel to finish up talking to people and doing various side quests. Hopefully we can wrap that up tonight and get into some actual main plot stroke action soon. If not tonight, at least next section. There is a cat doing bathing yoga behind me. Hi, Silas. Maybe he'll come and join me later. We'll see. Let's see. I've got the game up. I did run around and scanned all the keepers off stream because that would have been an extremely boring half hour of streaming. So did that. We can follow up and turn that in and talk to him because his partner thought that he was planning on killing him. So let me pull up chat. Chat is up. Pull up game. Oops. Pull up game on stream. Pull up game. Turn down headset. And we have no chat. Ugh, I did that wrong. One of these days, there's just too many steps in this process. Okay, chat is up. Game is up. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Enhanced video is taking over. Okay, there we are. But chat is gone again. WT fuck. Okay, now I have chat, I have game. Much better. All right. Is there anyone in chat? Yes. Okay, excellent. Do a quick latency test. If you could say something in 3, 2, 1, mark. Okay, so that's 2 to 3 seconds again, which is perfectly doable. So we have a couple of quests that we need to follow up on before we leave the Citadel. Right. Pick up, complete the deal with the arms dealers so that we can get the nosy woman's sister out of working as a spy in a strip club. Talk to the scientist who wanted us to scan the keepers because his partner thinks he's going to kill him. And then actually one quest hook that I picked up by mistake, or I actually haven't picked it up yet. We'll do that now real quick. As I was running around scanning the keepers, I ran into this guy being thrown somewhat forcefully out of the casino and given an obvious, "You should talk to this guy" prompt. So let's do that real quick.
Yeah, what is it?
Why were you tossed out of there?
Doran didn't have a clue what I was doing. He assumed I was cheating.
I know Doran. If he says you're cheating, you're cheating.
I was just tipping the scales in my favor, only as an experiment.
He was cheating. Both actions start with EXP.
Still sounds like cheating to me.
To you, maybe. But this device is merely intended to simulate situations and record results. Recording losses is easy, of course. Nobody notices those.
Why do you need to record these outcomes?
Now you're getting to the heart of it. I've spent the last 5 years developing a system that can accurately predict wins and losses on the Quasar. I just need a few more recorded wins and I can complete the algorithms.
Can you do that? Isn't that illegal?
It's illegal to use my system, but I won't use it. I'll sell it to others. I just need a few more wins recorded.
Pretty much.
Does the device help me win?
The device is set to emit a frequency that will slightly increase your odds. Nothing like my system eventually will, but enough to allow you to record your wins more quickly.
What's in this for me?
Keep your winnings. That should be payment enough, I think.
You really don't have to help him. There's no follow-up to anything. It's, yeah.
I think I'll take my chances the old-fashioned way.
Suit yourself. Well, I have some calculations to do. Goodbye.
Okay, so we can continue to have the option to follow up with that if we decide we do want to help him cheat. I'm curious if we can turn him in, talk to the casino boss and say, hey, this dude's still hanging around, so I want to see if I can find the casino boss.
Welcome to Flux. Name's Doran. What can I do for you?
Okay, we cannot. If you want to follow up with this guy, otherwise we've got other quests to do.
Is this a casino?
Among other things, yes. We've got some quasar stations, if you're interested.
Quasar's basically space blackjack. I mean, it's also a bar and dance club. We walked past both of those things on our way up here.
Are you the owner?
Owner, cook, and bartender. I've even been known to dance a little when the mood strikes me. We've got some quasar stations, if you're interested.
Goodbye.
Enjoy your time here at Flux.
You do actually occasionally see him dancing down on the dance floor. Okay, we have 2 quests left to polish off here, besides that guy. And I'm taking a second to remember what they were. Okay, yes. We need to go talk to the guy who wanted us to scan the keepers. I think I remember where he is. Down in the marketplace. Actually, we have 2 reasons to go down in the marketplace. To complete that arms deal for the spy for the police. And we were told just to complete the deal, don't break it up. Yeah, we just scanned like 25, and I did them all. It was tedious, but it got done. There was one that was bugged out. I had to actually reload the game to get it to show up properly. But that's a known bug, so... Alright, this is the guy we have to make the arms deal with.
Hold it. That's close enough, Army. You got my payment?
Do you have the mods?
Show her the goods.
Looks good.
Damn straight it is. These mods are the best on the market. Now hand over my credits.
We were specifically told not to arrest him, but if we want to go all, like, lawful good paladin on him, we could if we wanted to, but we'd get in trouble with the police who sent us over here.
Here you go.
Here you go. Enjoy it. Come on, boys. We're done here.
Imagine if I had a real weapon.
Commander, I wasn't expecting to see you again. Is there something you want?
He is the scientist who wanted us to scan the Keepers in the first place, and his partner said that he was... The partner said that this guy was following him and thinks that this guy wants to kill him. I mean, all he has evidence of is that he was being followed, though.
You can start by telling me the truth, Shorban.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. My experiments are...
We're not buying it. Jalid told us you've been after him.
You spoke with Jalid? Then you know about the data?
We don't know about the data.
No, but you're gonna tell me. Everything.
You boys can go. Looks like my plans have changed. It's not as bad as you think, Commander. Jalid and I just got a little over our heads.
Keep talking.
The company we work for developed an experimental procedure for use in medical scanners. Jalid and I saw even more potential, so we stole the plans and secretly developed a tool to scan the Keepers. Can you imagine? A tool that can actually get readings from the Keepers?
What's so special about that?
The Keepers are almost impossible to scan, and you can't capture them or get samples. They just self-destruct. After centuries here, we still don't know anything about them. Don't you see? We were the first to scan them, ever. You've seen it yourself, Commander. You know we can do it.
Why are you trying to kill your partner?
I'm not trying to kill him. Jalid's job was to disseminate our initial findings. But he decided to keep the data for himself. Maybe to sell it. I don't know.
Is that what you want to go with?
I should kill both of you idiots.
We lost our heads. We just couldn't let an opportunity like this pass us by. Commander, if you'll just continue gathering data for me, imagine what we might learn. And you'll stand to make a bit of a profit yourself, remember?
I mean, we've actually done every single Keeper that exists, so we can say no more if you want. We're done. He doesn't realize this was not coded the best, so there's not a special circumstance where if you've actually scanned all of them already.
I'm not breaking regulations for you or your research. Return what you stole or I'll have you arrested.
All right. You don't need to ask twice. Well then, no more scanning. I promise. Of course, Jalid still has the initial data, and I doubt he's planning to return it.
You got a little Canadian there.
I'll deal with Jalid.
So long, Commander.
I'm trying to remember where the closest rapid transit station is. I think it's over here. The next step in both of those quests is at the CSEC headquarters.
Hello again. Did you have any luck finding Shorban?
I found out you've been lying to me, Jaleed.
Lying? Why would I lie to you?
You forgot to mention the data about the Keeper.
He told you? I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I was afraid Shorban would kill me to get the data, so well, I was hoping you'd take care of him.
This is serious, Jaleed. You could spend the rest of your life locked up.
But I can't. What will happen to the data when I'm gone? Who will carry on our research?
You should have thought of that sooner.
But this data could be used to unravel all the secrets of the Keepers. Think what we could learn about the Citadel.
Tell me more about this data.
Well, it's still very preliminary, but our initial scans suggest the Keepers are as old as the Citadel itself. We might learn how the Citadel was built, or why the Keepers always rearrange things. The possibilities are limitless.
If it's that important, then take it back to the people it belongs to.
I suppose I should. All right, I'll take it back and continue work on it there. Thank you for not turning me in. I'll make the most of this second chance, I promise you.
So I'm just laughing at the three options here. Whatever. Pretty much.
Have a nice day, Jaleed.
Commander? Would you be interested in helping me study the Keepers?
I think this is just, if you hadn't finished scanning everything, you could continue to do so for this guy instead of the other one. But I'm not sure. Kind of, yeah. They were working together, but they had a falling out. But I don't think you can double dip. I mean, I think we've scanned them all, and that's it. So I'm not sure what this would be.
I don't have time for this.
Well, I thought I'd ask. So long.
Commander, I hear you have something for me.
This is the guy we did the arms deal for.
Here's your shipment, Chelik.
Excellent. This is everything I need. Maybe more than I need. Here, Commander, take this. I won't need it, and you've earned some payment for your work. I appreciate your help. It shows a lot of integrity. You didn't need to do anything after I let Jenna go.
Now I need to get these mods into evidence. Thanks again, Shepard.
He just changed voice actors again. not sure if we need to follow up with Jenna's sister or not. Not. Okay, so that's all done. That is all done. That's everything here on the Citadel to do. Let me check my inventory real quick. Stuff. Of course, probably the next thing to do is probably run around and talk to everybody on our ship, just to talk to everybody on our ship. I have a feeling that that is what we would wind up doing next.
In a further development in the Eden Prime investigation, the Council has reportedly revoked the Spectre status of one of its operatives. While the unnamed operative has not yet been apprehended, a Council spokesman confirmed that corrective actions had been taken.
Sorry, I went to grab something to drink while the elevator loaded, and then something jumped out of the fridge at me.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress. Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
Commander, something you need?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
What are you talking about? Are you sick?
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
I was just thinking how much you remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Joker's full of himself, but he really is that good. Because of the nature of the game being like ground squad based, you don't get to see it very often, but I'm not sure. This might be the same as...
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
No, it's different.
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
I think I looked it up once, and Vrolek syndrome is actually another name for osteogenesis imperfecta. It's not like some space disease, it's actually brittle bone disease. I know.
I need to know more about this Vrolek syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
I'd probably say goodbye here, but...
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
And you do get experience for prying into people's backgrounds like that, so...
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
Yeah, our Exo's still a little xenophobic.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Niles just got him... whatever.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
This is bigger than humanity. Saren's a threat to every species in the galaxy, and I'll welcome anyone who wants to help me bring him down.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander, this won't be a problem.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
I think that's everything.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, ma'am.
That's just the comms room. There's nobody back there. Nothing in the locker. Come back to Kane in a second. I just want to grab some quick codex entries for experience. Yeah, the ship doesn't have traditional bunks. It has these sleeper pods. I rate my own room, but it's pretty bare bones.
Anything you need, Commander?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Translation, come back after we've done another mission.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
After every major plot mission, I usually run around and talk to all of our crew members.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
I think we've talked to her about these before, but I'm not sure. I know we've talked to her about Kaidan because she talks about how he has the older implants.
How well do you know the Lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
Yeah, this sounds familiar to me. So I think we've been through what dialogue tree she has.
Goodbye, Commander.
But we've also recruited some new party members since then, so let's go find them in the basement. Cargo hold. Along with our tank. The bane of my existence. It is a pain to drive.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. free to handle things your way. At C-Sec, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But C-Sec wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. C-Sec's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside C-Sec. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without C-Sec headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
If getting the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to. I understand, Commander. Commander, good to see you.
No more talking.
Nice ship you got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Rex is like 1,000 years old, by the way.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
That did happen. Krogan are kind of a... They were not a spacefaring race. They were sort of stuck on a hostile... Their planet was not the greatest. They developed, like, super resilient organ systems, but spent a lot of their time fighting each other. But the galaxy was threatened by a hive mind insect invasion. And so the Turians first uplifted the Krogan to be a spacefaring race, and then that helped them defeat the Rachni, the hive minds. But then Krogans sort of spreading through the galaxy unchecked started to become a problem. So the Turians and the Solarians teamed up to create a virus thing that drastically reduced fertility rates among Krogans to attempt to curb their spread, essentially. And so that's where a lot of this resentment comes from. It wasn't exactly that they were wiped out the race, but that's kind of splitting hairs. Yeah, not... It's what the diplomats call a dick move.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I suppose knows it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Sorry, Rex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one, and no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Individual Krogan basically have just don't die from old age or organ failure or anything like that, but they're a very warlike race, so they tend to get killed off in wars, mercenary struggles, things like that. The fact that Rex is over 1,000 years kind of means he's very good at that.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Commander?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
We came as soon as we got the distress call, even with the fastest ship in the fleet.
You did the best you could, Commander. It's my fault. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
They have flashlight heads, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
True.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Alright, one more major crew member and I think one minor.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
At least you're not trying to patch one up that's 300 years old.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
So basically, if the Battlestar Galactica fleet had been a lot bigger and not devolved into political infighting,
more about the Geth?
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. 1 million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So the Geth share brainpower?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Silas, stop trying to knock over my microphone.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers.
Sort of the opposite of people.
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
That sounds like a great idea.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
So yeah, that went well.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
See, that thing about their immune systems, that's why they wear the encounter suits like that. It's not a atmosphere thing, it's a health risk to them thing.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I think we've covered everything.
I should go.
See you later.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tali? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for Tali, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
This is the last real named person on the ship to talk to. And he's not a major character, but if you're curious about the ship.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself, with no emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster-than-light travel?
Cranking up the FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Submarines in space!
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
Normal view, normal view.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo. Only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Alright, that is pretty much the entire crew that we have now checked in with. And it is almost 11 p.m., so I don't think we're going to get to any missions beyond Citadel space, but that's alright. Next time we can take the mission that will meet up with our last party member and go from there. Because it's getting late and I need to get some sleep because it's a work day tomorrow. This is how we will eventually navigate to wherever we're going. We pop open the map. And we have large chunks of the galaxy to explore, potentially. 2 of these are DLC. Oh, come on. My mouse is freaking out. 2 of these are DLC locations, Pinnacle Station and Asteroid X-57. We'll get to that later. But we've got the main quests all flagged, and then various just sort of arbitrary systems that have side quests in them, some of which we have the quests for, some of which you go there and just start scanning random planets to get more side quests. But for now, we're going to leave that. Save and call it a day. So that was a lot of choose-your-own-adventure type action. We will get into the actual, more of the gameplay and actual plot next time. Next stream will probably be Wednesday night, but that will likely be another League stream. We'll see. I'm not sure about that. We'll see. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.